Hello, today I'm going to demonstrate a harder ebook manager web application. The easier version is on YouTube and as well on the GitHub uh, with links to it from uh, this GitHub repository from the harder version, and the YouTube version, the YouTube video is easily searchable. So the ebook manager web application is built on the backend with Fast API and the front end with vanilla JavaScript. Uh, it has got some CRUD functionalities and features robust authentication, real-time notifications, error handling, and a test suite that I'll show you in action for the backend and as well the front end. So let me start the backend server to show you the backend and the front end for a brief overview. So the backend has various endpoints, the books, a certain book item as the GET request, then a login, then to test the authentication, to add a book, and to import books. So the ebook manager has got a login page where I, for testing purposes, just use a simple login 123. This brings us to the ebook manager where the books are populated from a SQL database, similarly like by the easier version. It has got various functionalities, so the logout button to get logged out. Even if we refresh, we are still logged in, so log out. Import books for importing books, and a print version for having a printer-friendly environment. So let me continue with the structure. So there is a backend and a front end, a README file, a books a CSV file from Kaggle, which is with kind credits from the author that are referenced in the GitHub. I have adjusted it slightly, made a subset from with JSON sample books that will be imported through the import function. And if we look further into the backend, so here is a comprehensive also test suite with particular tests and an overall test, and the main function, the config file, where we have just the 123 password, and the main file. So it runs on Fast API. The session is loaded and the database connection established. A scheme is present with the details of each book, and we follow with authentication, where the basic HTTP auth is used with the bearer. And then are the endpoints with the book, the particular book, the login, a test for the login, and an add book. So the add book is here. We can add a book. Let's say default title, price $1, rating very good, and let me show a brief demo. we need to select a genre, and a brief snap bar appears, and then we have the book on the end, and as well in the Postgre database. A default title that we can delete. See that it now disappeared here. Now let us test the import books, which are in a JSON format in the root of the project, and here as the endpoint. So 6 books were successfully imported, which are right here shown. So we had classical mythology to the kitchen god's wife. Classical mythology to the kitchen god's wife. Let us look now to the backend. So we can try here a login, then test the authentication. So let us log in with a login that would have appeared. So let's use it like this. Right. So it remembers it, and we use here, we just maybe skip this step. We use here the token and add it to the test authentication, because otherwise it would not work. So it works because it loads the BER token automatically. And now let's look on the tests. So let me here run the backend tests. Cd into the backend. Python run tests by with another argument. So maybe all. And we can see the backend tests running. Authentication, all this tests. And we can run as well the tests from the tests folder. So let us open here the README. The main ones are comprehensive test to a system test, then the next one for new fields functionality, and the last one for authentication workflow. So a comprehensive test, and when one adjusts the code, so then the tests might indicate or will indicate where the code got broken, and debugging will be easier. So for example, then the test auth flow. So, and to continue, we have the front-end tests. So there is the test dashboard in the front-end uh, test, and we can here see again that we have a default style and then a printer-friendly styling. So the dashboard, let's open the README HTML, and here we have a test suite. So with unit tests, there are also then Mocha test runner. There is the Mocha test runner with Mocha and Chai. To run unit tests, test session manager, test form validation, and test book objects. Then the integration tests to test the backend, to complete here the HTTP basic auth, cross-origin um, compatibility, cross-origin testing, and here we have the test, which populates then the session token, and we can try out to simulate a front-end form submit, that it's not necessary here to to add here the form ourselves. So this was this one. Then we had the backend test, then at book test, right? There, it's probably already there. And here the backend server status check, where it gives the correct answer that's not authenticated when we do not use authentication. So looking into the database, there are some items created by the tests which we can now delete.